Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am back because a lot has happened and it's not really a surprise, but Meghan and Harry were mocked at the Baftas by their fellow peers who they aspire to be like: real talent, actors, actresses, people in the industry, people of importance, people who are highly sought after. Yes, they were mocked. So Rebel Wilson was a host for the Baftas in the UK, and a lot of people were extremely upset because Prince William and Catherine were not in attendance due to a personal commitment. Now that commitment turned out to be the Commonwealth celebrations the following day. So of course they showed up looking absolutely stunning and fabulous, as they always do. The dynamic duo. Kate was wearing a royal blue and she looked fabulous, she looked well rested, and she's been working extremely hard as of late. So I think that they just needed that weekend break to probably see the kids, spend some time with them, plan their outfits for tomorrow and go to bed nice and early so that they can look nice and refreshed for the Commonwealth ceremony which they held today. So Rebel Wilson basically went in and she dropped a piece of her mind about how she feels about the Oprah Winfrey interview, and she essentially said that it was drama to fantasy. And she said, but those were unfortunately not nominated in the Outstanding British Film Academy. It was believed that Meghan and Harry's interview was meant to be the interview of the decade, the new decade that we have now entered into. And it was meant to be groundbreaking stuff. We was really expecting to find out about possible low down dirty royal secrets, awful scandals that have yet to be revealed that only Harry would have access to, having actually grown up in the firm and been in the firm and freshly left the firm. We really thought that he was going to expose crazy things like people drinking blood. I don't know, just crazy things. There's been so many rumours and speculations about the royal family ever since I was a child. And growing up, you just hear the most wildest things, the most positive things, and you never really knew what to believe or what to expect. They've always been afflicted with scandals, from Princess Diana to Fergie to now Prince A and Prince H, Prince Harry. And of course, Charles was wrapped up in some scam And of course, Charles was wrapped up in a major scandal with the Saudi prince. So you never really know what to expect with them. But unfortunately, it was a major disappointment because we were hit with allegations against the royal firm that simply weren't true. Harry said that, of course, his brother and his dad, all of his predecessors, were trapped. They were victims. And essentially, he didn't really have much to say. Meghan banged on about how her children should have a title so that they can have security, and she only wanted baby Archie to have a title so that they could have security, and that's the very reason why she left, and her mental health was at risk, and we know the rest of the story. It just didn't really have any factual basis as to why they were stepping down. They would have made it a lot easier on themselves if they simply just said, guys, we didn't want to be of public service, we just really couldn't be bothered, we wasn't up for it, and we decided to basically drop our royal duties and we just wanted the cash. Yeah, it would have been crass, it would have been very cringeworthy, but it would have been the truth, because that is the truth that they are running away from, and that is the truth that they are now trying to conceal. They are not the most philanthropic, greatest humanitarians to have ever walked the face of this planet Earth. They are all about themselves, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing if you're honest about it. If you're open and you're direct and you say, look, I'm just all about the money. I just want to live large, and I don't want to have to get up when I don't want to, and I don't want to have to do this if I don't feel like it, and I want to have more control over the public appearances. that's fine, but they really should have set out from the beginning of their marriage, as we all know this was premeditated stuff, to live that kind of lifestyle and to have that kind of reality. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but the lies, now it's becoming bigger than what it actually needed to be. And then there's Meghan Markle there, severing all of these ties with all of these family members, African American and American alike. And there's no real explanation or reason as to why she's decided to do that. People just don't understand it, but all we can deduce is that they are selfish. Prince Harry is not going to attend Prince Philip's memorial because of, his lack of access to royal protection officers, which he willfully gave up. So it doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like a convoluted way of putting your middle finger up at your family, but then trying to come up with a real solid valid reason that we're all supposed to believe. It just doesn't make sense, and it's clear, unadulterated, BULLSHI, and you know the rest, right? It's not the truth. The truth of the matter is that he can't face his family because he's told a lot of lies. So he has his memoir, which a lot of people believe is going to consist of not much. He's going to pen his memoir, and we know that when this book is released, it's going to be filled with convoluted lies, because that's exactly what Thomas Markle is about to reveal on his YouTube channel. Yes, Thomas Markle is now a member of the YouTube community, and he's going to be dropping his thoughts every week on public affairs and also on his daughter Meghan, to set the record straight, because he's sick and tired of being ignored. He's sick and tired of being suppressed. And Thomas, because he made himself so accessible in the beginning, talking to public figures and journalists, and of course giving interviews left, right and centre during the lead up to the wedding, he made himself extremely accessible to the point now whereby people just really aren't taking him in, and some people really aren't taking him that seriously. But as a father, the issue is still very much pressing. So he really wants to get his point across, and he's going to set the record straight, especially about the Finding Freebies book. I think it's absolutely fabulous. But just before I go on, Rebel Wilson didn't really trash Meghan that much or Harry that much, but can I just say she looks absolutely fabulous. She used to be quite chunkier and she used to be heavier, and she's lost all of the weight. Her skin was amazing, her hair was amazing, the dress was amazing, the colour that she chose was just so on point, and she looked absolutely stunning. I'm quite surprised that someone who is in her industry, who is basically, everything's going for her right now, would take the time to even look at Meghan and Harry's nonsense or their drama. But I guess everyone has seen it. We've all seen it, right? And she basically said that it's one big fantasy that's not even worth receiving an award. Now, could this have been, I personally feel as though this could have been a major swipe at the NAACP award for their alleged humanitarian work, which I don't know when they found the time to do this or what they have done exactly. Could this have been a swipe for that? And as I said that night when they actually received the NAACP award, I was astonished that the NAACP would lower themselves to that standard in order to simply get views, in order to get people to engage with the award ceremony, because the NAACP have some amazing talents walk through their doors. Every year there's always a star-studded turnout of really specially highly skilled, talented actors and actresses and singers and directors worth knowing in the industry attends. And of course, it's an African American focused award ceremony to recognize the achievements of African Americans in the entertainment industry. What exactly have Meghan and Harry done to contribute to that? So I always watched it, but now I just feel like, well, what's the point? It's kind of like a bit weird for me to kind of give it credence or put it in my schedule next year, because I don't really know what the point of me watching it is if all it requires for you to get an award from them is to simply scream out racism, because that's the only thing that Meghan and Harry have done. They've screamed out racism, they've severed ties with the very foundation that built them. And this actually mirrors the actress Emma Watson. If you know who she is, she starred in the Harry Potter series of films regarding the J.K. Rowling books. So she actually has recently turned her back on J.K. Rowling, and she's kind of shot herself in the foot here, showing absolutely no loyalty whatsoever by essentially condemning J.K. Rowling because of her comments towards the LGBT community. Now, that's a separate issue. I'm not even going to talk about that. But what I am going to say is that if she felt so strongly, or she didn't like what J.K. Rowling had said about the LGBT community, that was the woman that put food on her table. That was the woman who gave her the career that she has today. That was the woman who's made her very rich and put her on that platform in the first place. You're not going to agree with everything that your mentor or your manager or your boss does, but if that is someone who has changed your life, the best thing she could have done was shoot her a private message instead of trying to throw her under the bus. She didn't do that. She took it to the street. She cut her deep, and now she looks really, really bad because it's just a lack of gratitude. So this, of course, mirrors Harry and Meghan. Everything that they are and everything that they have is owed to the royal firm. And look at them. They're doing absolutely nothing to bolster the credibility or the relevancy of the firm, and they're only serving themselves while trying to drag the very thing that made them down. I'm going to end it here, guys. With all that being said, I will be back with another video. Bye, guys.